It's the Gone Fishin' podcast in association with the OEHL and the Shelburne Muskies, and hosted by OEHL live on YouTube play-by-play commentator Andrew Rogers. This podcast is brought to you by Larry's Small Engines, your trusted Can-Am, Sea-Doo, Ski-Doo dealer in Mono, Ontario, Canada. Located at 286-270 County Road 10. Visit their website at larrysmallengines.ca or call 519-941-1517 today. Here is your host, Andrew Rogers. The Gone Fishin' podcast, and this is officially our playoff preview. That is right. The 2025-2026 OEHL regular season is in the books. It's done. Finito. This is what we all waited for. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Playoffs, baby. They are right on our doorstep, literally speaking, as the day after today, so tomorrow, the 2026 OEHL playoffs will get underway. We have play-in series. We have first rounds. Everything is just happening. And, again, all 18 teams in the league have played their hearts out for 20 games to get us to this point. And, man, just such an amazing season. I know for myself personally. By the way, I'm Andrew Rogers, the host, obviously. If you didn't know already, you've been stuck under a rock or something. Live at the Real Raji 21 for all live streaming games this past season. 28 games, as a matter of fact, I called in Barnes this year. I was in Milverton for a game. I was in Elora for a few, Georgian Bay and Thornbury for a bunch of games, Shelburne, a lot of games, Port Elgin, a lot of games. Just traveled near, far, Elmvale as well. I was in Elmvale for a few games. And again, everybody throughout the course of this league has been tremendously supportive, and cannot express my gratitude enough for that. So to each and every one of you in the OEHL, so thankful am I to you for what was a tremendous OEHL season. Obviously, with the playoffs now on the horizon, it's a matter of where I'm going to be and when for these playoff games. Schedules are being dropped left, right, and center, and we will be able to update you at least of what we have as of this recording. Not everything is in yet, so obviously make sure to keep checking team socials and league socials all across all platforms. But we will do a lot in this podcast. I'll give you a rundown of the scores from this past weekend, and there's also highlights I have. So before I will start with Friday, and then we'll go to Saturday. But before I do that, we will show you highlights. I do have highlights from the Shelburne Muskies regular season finale when they traveled to Elmvale this past Saturday to take on the Harvesters. So just quickly, on Friday, January 30th, I was in Elora at the Jefferson Elora Community Center. Elora taking care of business, home ice, 12-7 over Dunnville. You had Minto 5-3 victors on the road in Durham against the Durham Thundercats. And then you had the Lucknow Lancers beating the Shelburne Muskies 4-3. On Saturday, like I said, lots of games. You had the Elora Rocks defeating Milverton 6-5 in overtime. You had Tavistock defeating Erin 4-3. Petrolia downing Seaford 3-2. Georgia Bay Apple Kings beating Lucknow 5-1. And Dunnville beating Delhi 7-0. What that all means for the standings and the playoff brackets, I'll get to in a moment. But first, highlights from Shelburne and Elmvale. Enjoy. Here as we wrap up the 2025-2026 OEHL regular season with a matchup between the Muskies and the Harvesters. Starting in goal for the Shelburne Muskies is number 34, Gatlin Burt. He is 1-9-2 on the season. Starting in goal for the Elmvale Harvesters, making his season debut, number 30, Adam Redgate. Shelburne in the visiting Whites, Elmvale in the home Reds. And we are set to get underway here. Face-off coming up here at center. And we are underway. Shelburne takes the opening face-off. It's back in their own end. And ended up over on the other side of the ice. And this one's out. Cochran's going to shoot it right back in. Benedetti throws it across. This is McGirt. He loses it, though, and here's Jacob Kelly. Kelly into Fuller, scores! Jacob Fuller on the pass across by Jacob Kelly. Or Jordan Fuller, I apologize. For Fuller, that's his 11th of the season. And we have a 1-0 Elmville lead on Fuller's 11th of the season. We have 15:30 to go here in the first. Here comes Elmville back in across the line. Centering pass, there's a shot, save, rebound, scores again! The initial shot was stopped, but the rebound was buried in behind Burt before he could even make the adjustment, and Fuller has two in a matter of about 10 seconds. Back to the line, it's kept in. Here's a shot for Shelburne, just went wide. Chance here, and it's stopped, rebound is over the net. Redgate made the big first stop, but the second one was fired high over the net. What a chance for Shelburne. There's a shot there. Oh, Redgate got that too! As Elmville's going to skate it out of their own end here and bring it into the Shelburne end. Young, good move, stopped by Burt. Another save, Burt, as he got a toe on it. What a move from Ryan Young as he mix-mashed his way through the Shelburne defense core. 30 seconds left to go in the first. Sweeney, he'll go to the outside, stop up, has Young in support. Young into the corner, Prentice bodies him off the puck. Play to the line to Halusiak, shoots, and that's off the glove and out of reach for Burt. Sweeney shoots, scores! 9.4 to go. And the Elmville Harvesters strike on the power play. This time it's going to be Derek Sweeney with his 7th of the season, and the Harvesters lead it 3-0. Puck is dropped. Shelburne will dump it into the Elmville zone. Final seconds ticking off, and the horn will sound. That'll do it. 20 minutes in the books. The Harvesters taking control on home ice in that first period, and they lead it 3-0. Arena, Andrew Rogers with you. Great to be here, and excited to bring you another period of hockey as we get set for puck drop here in period number 2. Across. Final seconds ticking down. There's a shot. Good save, Redgate, and he hangs on. Hoover and Pitt. Now we got one here. And referees stop and get in the way of that. They wanted to go. Redgate will stop it in behind the net. Elmville going to skate this puck out nicely, and here comes Kelly. He has Pierce. Pierce scores! Dave Pierce on the backhand. Puts it in behind Gallenbert. And that's a great rush for Elmville, and it's Dave Pierce who puts it in behind Burt. No shot on Redgate, and now it's Elmville who has it. Kelly up the ice. He puts it across, looking for Pierce. Couldn't get the shot away. Pierce has it again. Goes to the middle. Dipsy Doodles scores! Dave Pierce scores for Elmville, his 2nd of the period. And that'll do it for Gallenbert's night, as he's going to come out. Sims takes his man down. And now it's a chance here for Elmville. Centering, stopped by Marquis, what a save. Nothing like a cold goaltender coming in and making a highlight reel save in his first shot attempt. Good stop there by Dominic Marquis, as Elmville's going to bring it up the ice. Shelburne with a change, left 2 guys back, and there's a goal there from Pepper. Just an awful change by Shelburne. Left a 5-on-2 on the ice. Georgian Bay leads 5-1 over Lucknow. As that one's in, that one squeaks past Marquis, and he scores, and that makes their score 7-0. here in Elmville. And it's Fuller with the hat trick goal. Goes down, centering pass. Konings put it wide. Beck to Palmer. Shoots, saved Redgate. Palmer again. And that will do it for the period. 40 minutes in the books. Elmville Harvesters in control. They lead the Shelburne Muskies 7-0. We have 1:07 left in the power play. That will resume when the third period gets underway. And about to get the third period underway here. With our score, Elmville 7, Shelburne nothing. 1:05 left on the power play for Shelburne here as they're going to control off the opening faceoff. In terms of the playoff picture. And this is sent ahead, and here's McCallum in behind the defense. McCallum scores! And he goes down on the celebration. Hey, I used to do that all the time. There's nothing wrong with that. Every time I'd score, I would do exactly that. That looks very familiar to me. It didn't happen often, trust me. Is it now for Elmville? Puts it down low. Pierce. He'll switch spots with Pitt. To the middle. Scores! Fuller! Jordan Fuller has 4 in the hockey game. That's a power play goal, and it makes it 8-1. They jump ahead of Aaron for fourth. Shot post and out. Rebound wide. Walker side. Boy, that was quite a clang. And now it'll be played out by Shelburne. Here's Kelly bringing it back in. Puts it in the middle. They score. Fuller. That's 5. Jacob Kelly sets up Jordan Fuller for his 5th of the game. Centering pass, and Edmonds doesn't get there, and now it's going to be Nicastro up the ice. 2 seconds, he'll shoot. Redgate with the save, and that'll do it. The Elmville Harvesters end their season with a win, and they take this one by a score of 9-1. Finish the season at 14-5-1. They finish the season in 3rd place in the North Division, and they will play the Georgian Bay Apple Kings in the first round of the OEHL North Division playoffs. Yes, guys, that is correct. Elmville Harvesters, 9-1 winners over the Shelburne Muskies in the regular season finale. Hats off to Jordan Fuller. Boy, did he go off. 5 goals in the hockey game, and just spectacular stuff. Also want to give a honorable mention to Adam Redgate, goaltender of the Elmville Harvesters, making his OEHL and senior hockey debut, and he put on a clinic in the Elmville net. He was stellar, and Elmville putting up a 9 spot in support of him and his great goaltending play in the game to earn his first senior and OEHL victory in the net for Elmville. Adam Redgate, unbelievable stuff for him. Okay. So what we're going to do from here, guys, is we will go into our there's a lot of graphics that I want to show you. Obviously, the visual aid is up. As you guys can see, it's kind of making its way through the rounds here. And, yeah, so you guys probably have seen some things, but I want to give you a rundown of some things as well. And obviously give shout-outs to people, give credit where credit is due. Obviously, make sure I mention those things. So we'll start with the standings. We're going to go with the South Division first. C4 Centenaires, congratulations on finishing first in the South Division, 15-4-1, 31 points, 1 better than Petrolia, who finished in the 2nd spot. Want to give a shout out to the Elora Rocks, who finished with the most goals for in the South Division with 118. Want to give a shout out to Seaforth, who allowed the fewest goals against with 48. That is unreal. The next best team in the South Division allowed 61. I mean, that is just unbelievable stuff from Seaforth. They put on a defensive and goaltending clinic this year. So congratulations to Seaforth finishing first in the South Division. Over on the north side of things, congratulations goes out to the Ripley Wolves, who finished first in the North Division with a record of 16-4. They had 117 goals for, 49 against. Just an unbelievable season all around for them. So Seaforth finishes the top in the OEHL, 48 goals against. Ripley number 2 with 49. Want to give a shout out to the Durham Thundercats, who scored a North Division best and OEHL best, 140 goals. They were 2 goals shy of doubling their goals against, if you can believe it. That's just unreal stuff to be able to say in a sentence. Crazy, crazy stuff right there. No question about it. We are going to go from there. We will keep our graphics going here and humming along. The next graphic we want to show you is the leading goals in the OEHL. And congratulations goes out to Durham's Brody LeBlanc, 31 goals, leading all OEHL goal scorers. And just like I say, hats off to him. Unbelievable season. We'll get to Brody in a minute elsewhere. Luke Uhrig finishing second, had an unbelievable year for a rookie. Durham's number 28, 23 goals for him, finishing second. In the South Division, the Elora Rocks Clayton Holzer finished first in South goal scoring with 19 goals. He finished amongst six players that all finished with 19 goals across the OEHL. Incredible stuff. Next category is your assists in the OEHL, and leading all assist leaders is number 9, Jacob Kelly of Elmvale. He finished with 39 assists on the season, so he gets the top crown there. Luke Uhrig finishing second for Durham, 35. You had Kyler Nixon of Durham, 34, and Brody LeBlanc of Durham, 30. Alex Utley finishing with the most assists in the South Division with 29 for the Elora Rocks. Next one up is the points. And again, Brody LeBlanc, as mentioned earlier, 61 points. He finishes first in OEHL scoring. So congratulations to Brody. He finished 3 better than Luke Uhrig of Durham with 58. Jacob Kelly with a big monster performance against Shelburne was able to stay pace. He tied for second with Uhrig with 58 points. Tops in the South Division in points is Alex Utley. He finished with 39 for the Elora Rocks. Moving on to the defenseman point scoring leaders, Kyler Nixon, the captain of the Durham Thundercats and OG vet of the senior hockey circuit, finishing with 45 points from a defensive position. Just an unreal season for Kyler, and hats off to him. He had it basically wire to wire. Riley Pitts finishing second with 31. Dave Pierce of Elmvale third, 28. In the South Division, it was Andrew Burns finishing tops in the South Division defensive point scoring with 17 of Dunnville. Our last stat category we want to show you is the goaltender wins. We had 4 goalies finishing with 10 wins on the season, including Colin Dunn of Elora, Alex Hutchison of Seaforth, Jacob Knowles of Petrolia, and Jonathan Reinhardt of Minto. Also, Alan Maneri of Georgia Bay and Jason Hamilton of Ripley finishing with 8. You had Garrett Gawley of Ripley, Clayton Fritsch of Saugeen Shores, and Noah Featherston Howe of Elmvale finishing with 7. So just unbelievable stuff from the goaltenders in the OEHL. Before we go any further, I just want to give recognition here to the points leaders of the Shelburne Muskies, and that was Kyle Burke. Had an unbelievable year for Shelburne, was right there at the top of the list for Shelburne points. He finishes with 16, 9 goals, 7 assists. So he finishes first in goals and points. Finishing first in assists for Shelburne was Keith Palmer with 8. So those are your Shelburne Muskie stats to finish the season. From there, as you guys can see now, you have the OEHL official playoff bracket, as you could tell. So Shelburne will take on Creemore in a best of 3. The winner will get the Ripley Wolves in round number 1. Elsewhere, the 5 seed Saugeen Shores and the 4 seed Durham Thundercats will renew that rivalry that goes back a long ways. You have Georgian Bay and Elmvale, also a little bit of a rivalry over the past few years in the OEHL. And then you have the Minto 81s and the Lucknow Lancers. I like to call this the 519 Sports Online Bowl. as both teams are heavily represented by 519 Sports Online highlights. So that is your North Division matchups. Over in the South Division, the Milverton four-wheel drives take on the Delhi Flames in the play-in series, with the winner getting Seaforth. Elsewhere, 5-seeded Tavistock taking on 4-seeded Erin. You have the Dunnville Arrows at 6 taking on 3-seed Elora, and you have old school rivals, the Tillsonburg Thunder and the Petrolia Squires, a matchup of 2 versus 7 on the South Division side of things. We're going to go through each of these series one by one for you, and we will give you the playoff dates that we have. We'll start with the play-in series and the South Division. Up first, the Milverton four-wheel drives and the Delhi Flames. Now, before we get started on this, want to wish best wishes to Riley Connors. He was severely injured at the end of regulation against the Elora Rocks from this past weekend. I have not heard anything new to update you on. As far as I know, he was doing okay, but I'm not sure of the severity or his availability. I would imagine his season is over, but I'm not going to say that 100% on this. But again, there is that potential. But Milverton, yeah, look at that's how they stack up. 5-10-5 over the season, 63 goals, 96 against. First game of the series takes place on the 7th in Delhi at 8 o'clock. The second game, Sunday, February the 8th at 1:30 in Milverton at the Perk, and they will play game 3 Tuesday, February 10th at 9 o'clock in Milverton if necessary. This is a best-of-3 series. Delhi Flames with, a rough year all around, unable to muster any points, either wins or ties / shootout losses, have their hands full in this play-in series. Elsewhere in the first round, matchup of 2 versus 7. Like I say, old school rivalries here. The Tillsonburg Thunder and the Petrolia Squires face off in a first round best of 7. Tillsonburg 8-11-1 on the season, while Petrolia finished 15-5. Braden Roberts led the Thunder in scoring. Josh Barraclough leading the charge for the Petrolia Squires. I think the difference here comes in net. Jacob Knowles and Nolan DeConing, what a 1-2 punch they have in the Petrolia net. That is going to make things very difficult on the Thunder. This series gets underway on Friday, February the 6th. I believe. I got to double check this now. My it's all out of whack here. Yeah, sorry. Friday, February 6th in Petrolia at the Greenwood Rec Center, 8:30. Game 2 will then take place on Tuesday and not Saturday. Tuesday, February the 10th in Tillsonburg at 8:30. Like I say, you can see the rest of the schedule there. Games 5, 6, and 7, if necessary, if it goes that far. That should be a dynamite series between the Thunder and the Squires. The next matchup we are going to look at here is taking place between the 6-seed Dunnville Arrows and the 3-seed Elora Rocks. Again, big advantage here in net with Colin Dunn, who recorded 10 wins this season. Elora 14-6 with the most goals for in the South, while Dunnville finished 9-11. No schedule has been yet announced. I would imagine this series gets underway on Friday in Elora with at 8:30, with game 2 being in Dunnville on Saturday at 8 o'clock when they normally play their home games. Matt Rugrock, great season for him. Landon Miner as well. Top 2 scorers for the Dunnville Arrows in the regular season. Alex Utley leading the charge for the Elora Rocks in points, while Clayton Holzer led the team in goals and had a wonderful year for the Rocks. Charlie Stevens, big X factor. Mark McIntosh, big X factor. I expect big things out of the Elora Rocks and a potentially long playoff run. Looking at this next series, we have the Tavistock Royals, the 5-seed taking on the 4-seed Erin Outlaws. This series gets underway on Saturday at Center 2000 in Erin at the home of the Erin Outlaws, 7:30, and then Sunday, February 8th at 1:30 in Tavistock for game 2. The only game that hasn't been announced in the series is game number 7. But Mitch Atkins, leading the Tavistock Royals in scoring this year, had a big year. Devin Kropp, big year. Drew Girth, big year for the Royals. It's hard to say with the goalies who has the advantage here. Joseph Clark had a good year. Andrew Masters came in late and put up good numbers. And we'll see how the Royals stack up here. The Aaron Outlaws, an absolute monster. Yeah, they faded a little bit down the stretch, but they have some big hitters, no bigger than Chris Martin, who's an absolute beast, number 88. Big year for him. And obviously, one that I really like is Christian Lloyd on defense. They also added Ty Campbell, who's a friend of the show and a terrific guy. We go way back, and he's been a nice addition for this Outlaws team, and I expect him to have a big playoff run. We'll switch over to the north side of things here with the play-in series between the Shelburne Muskies and the Creemore Coyotes. For Shelburne, like I said earlier, Kyle Burke leading the team in scoring. You had Josh Graves leading the Creemore Coyotes in scoring all of his points, assists, if you can believe it. It's really, really difficult to say what the X factor of this series will be. We'll see what happens on Friday after game one. 8:30. This is in Dundalk as well, so make sure to remember the location of that one. Game two then goes Saturday, February the 7th at 7:30 in Creemore, with game three then following on Sunday, February the 8th. No time has been announced. It will take place at in Shelburne at the Center Dufferin Recreation Complex. So just keep that in mind. Game three in Shelburne, game one in Dundalk. The second-seeded Minto 81s in their quest for a third consecutive championship will begin their defense of that championship with a matchup against seven-seeded Lucknow, who basically won that on the second last day of the regular season, that seventh seed. Lucknow has their hands full, but Chase Mears will be a big difference maker for the Lancers, alongside Tanner Simpson, had a big year, 12 goals. And Captain Chase Chapman alongside Greg Scott. Like I say, these guys have players on this Lancers team. The goaltending will be the big X factor there. For the Minto 81s, finishing second, big 8 wins to finish their season. Jonathan Reinhardt and Ben Nelson. What a 1-2 combo in goal for the Minto 81s. So I think they have the edge there, but we'll see what they do in terms of their scoring prowess. Again, look no further. Adam Lagazzo, defenseman / forward, put up big points. Blair Butcher, big points. Chase Herford, big points. And Liam Hurley, big points. And you can't count out the captain, Caleb Warren. Just these guys have a lot of firepower on this Minto 81s team that can make you pay. Game one goes Saturday, February 7th in Palmerston at the Palmerston District Community Center Complex. That goes at 6 o'clock. Game two goes Saturday, February 14th in Lucknow with a time to be announced. And then Sunday, February 15th in Palmerston for game three. That's all that has been announced as of right now in this series. Next series we're going to talk about here, the Georgian Bay Apple Kings and the Elmvale Harvesters. Mark my words, this series goes 7. This is going to be an unreal series. I'm very excited to see how it plays out. Alan Maneri, great year for him in the Georgian Bay net, 8 wins. Mackenzie Fleming, 46 points. Evan Bueller, unreal year. Jacob Robitaille, big-time numbers. And the depth was everywhere here. Look no further than guys like Jamie Wise, big year. Reed Simmons and Scott Dorian, one of the fastest players I've ever seen. My X factor for the Apple Kings here is Scott Hustwick. I want to see what he does. He's been snake bitten this year. He's had 4 goals taken off the board because game sheet either got it wrong or it was called back for a penalty or an infraction of some kind. So I think he's going to have a big series in this first round. Over on the Elmvale side of things, what a goaltending duo between Noah Featherston Howe and Andrew Best. Big numbers for them. Jacob Kelly, talk about big numbers, 58 points. Jordan Fuller, fresh off a 5-goal performance, big year. Riley Pitt, Dave Pierce, Dylan Palomaki, unreal. Ryan Young, this guy could stick handle his way out of a phone booth. He's really, really, really solid. Joseph Franzen, really steady on the defensive for them. And they just got grinders, and they really know how to play, and they will skate you into the ground. This series is going to have a bit of everything. It should be really fun to watch. The final series in the North that we are going to preview is this one is just going to have all the firepower in the world. And that's not just because the Durham Thundercats scored 140 times in 20 games. No, This is a old school rivalry matchup here, and it has the makings of being an absolute banger. Saugeen Shores, Clayton Fritsch, unreal year for him. I expect him to be monstrous in this series. Miles McLean, the captain, is really going to have to anchor this team. Mike Fegan's really going to have to step up in a secondary scoring role. The question marks being Justin Donnelly and Andy Mitchell. I don't know what their availabilities for playoffs are. Luke Pither, that's a big question mark. Rob Flick, when he's in the lineup, he makes a massive difference. The defenses are really going to be tested for the Winterhawks in this series, and look no further to Josh Erbshot. Chad Jones is going to need to be a monster, and Todd Hellier as well in terms of on the defensive side of things for Saugeen Shores. Over on the Durham Thundercats side of things, well, look no further than that top line. Brody LeBlanc, 61 points. Luke Uhrig, 58. Jack Weiser, 32. I mean, come on. It just lives and dies on that top line for the Durham Thundercats, but they do have secondary scoring in the form of Justin Graham, Trevor Houston, and Luke Richardson. Nice surprise for the Durham Thundercats, former Shelburne Muskie, and he's had a big year since joining the Thundercats. Kyler Nixon, man, this guy does it all on that defensive side. He's the captain. He's the anchor of the Thundercats, and expect him to have a monstrous series. My biggest question mark would be in goal for the Thundercats, whether it be Brandon Landry. Vance Meyer had a really nice season, 6-0 in his 6 starts. Marshall Nichols, we haven't really seen much of him. He started 3-0. Again, that's going to be the big question mark, is who are they going to ride with, and is it going to pay off? And I guess the time will tell. This series actually gets underway in Port Elgin at the Plex at 8:30 on Friday, February the 6th. So it starts in Port Elgin, goes to Durham on Saturday, February 7th, 6:30 is the time in that one. Then it shifts back to Port Elgin, then in Durham for 2 straight, 4 and 5 if necessary. So again, different approach than a typical 7-game series, but alas, that is where we're at with that. And again, just unbelievable stuff, really, truly. This year has been absolutely magical, and it's been so fun to be a part of. I mentioned off the hop, it's been so much fun being able to cover this league. I was welcomed with open arms and opportunities, and it's been nothing short of remarkable for me. 28 games in the regular season I called. So much fun. Really, it truly was. And I look forward to doing so many more in the playoffs and in the chase for that playoff for the OEHL championship. Now, remember, once a team is eliminated, either in the play-in series or in the first round, there will be an A playoff. I don't know how exactly that's going to look. I will keep you updated as these podcasts continue. Speaking of which, the podcast will continue, this Gone Fishing podcast, throughout the entirety of the playoffs. We will just call them the Gone Fishing Podcast Playoff Edition. We will continue to update you as we go along with the series, and we will track it all. And obviously, the big question mark right now is the Shelburne Muskies, and do they have what it takes to win 2 out of 3 against the Creemore Coyotes in this play-in series? And what are they going to do once they get past the Coyotes, if that is what has happened, and they stare into the abyss of the mountain that is the Ripley Wolves, top seed in the overall OEHL conferences, like with the best record? Time will tell. It's going to be so much fun. Yeah, guys, like I say, that's going to put a wrap on it. I wanted to make sure I went through each series individually and shouted out to individuals that have made this team what they are today and what you can expect when it comes to playoff hockey, because it's just going to be spectacular. I'm Andrew Rogers at the Real Raji 21. Thank you so much for watching my OEHL playoff preview on the Gone Fishing podcast, sponsored by Larry's Small Engines out of Mono, Ontario, Canada, Cruisin Insurance Brokers, and Duffer Mutual Insurance Group. Thank you so much to them for what they do and what they bring to the table. Thank you to the Shelburne Muskies, Corey Allen, and everybody else associated in that organization for everything that they've done this year and bringing me on and supporting me and being such wonderful individuals. I look forward to all these playoff edition podcasts. There'll be plenty of highlights if I have them as well. I will make sure to provide them here. And yeah, I look forward to talking a lot more OEHL for you throughout the course of the 2026 OEHL playoffs. Should be so much fun. Signing off. This is Andrew Rogers. I will see you guys next week. Take care, everyone, and be safe out there. It's the Gone Fishin' Podcast in association with the OEHL and the Shelburne Muskies, and hosted by OEHL live on YouTube play-by-play commentator Andrew Rogers. This podcast is brought to you by Larry's Small Engines, your trusted Can-Am, Sea-Doo, Ski-Doo dealer in Mono, Ontario, Canada. Located at 286-270 County Road 10. Visit their website at larrysmallengines.ca or call 519-941-1517 today.